Hey guys, it's Frank with the show match between Control and Aureil in a best of 9. Well, I don't know that it's necessarily best of, but they're playing 2-9. They're playing 9 matches, so we'll see how that goes. Pretty standard stuff so far. Hexen's gonna come on forward, see 3 mining prisms, gonna come back home. Know that it's more of an eco build out of our Celestial player, Aureil. And, oh, no sound in game? Hold up. No sound in game, why is that? Oh, that's why. Okay, thank you so much for catching that. Let's restart this. It sounds like a song that we should blame Rick for. Hey man, Rick's got some he's got some good tunes. Alright, bop, bop, bop. Get on through it. Get to it. Alright, take 2. What's up guys, it's Frank here with the series of 9 show match between Aureil and Control. This is going to be game 1, and looks like the Hexen's going to come on forward, sees the array being built, sees 3 prisms, and realizes that it's going to be more of an eco game out of Aureil. So he's going to teleport on home. Immediate 2 gaunts popping out of that clown cave, and it looks like the expansion will be coming a little bit later, but get while the getting is good. Got to make hay while the sun shines, and gather ye rosebuds while ye may. Creep. Kill slimes. Kill slimes. There we go. Oh no, a little bit of a mistake there. This gaunt is taking a little bit too much damage, I think. Yeah, it's gonna get hit with a lot of the debuffs there. Yeah, this Hexen isn't taking nearly enough damage. Oh, and he loses a fiend too. No. It's a little bit suboptimal, but oh, lose the other fiend too. Man. All right, a little bit of a struggle there on that first health camp, but we do see the shrines halfway done. Meanwhile, back over on the side of Aureil, we're going to see the creation chamber finish up, and immediately he's got an Argent coming out. Single prism over here on the expansion array, on the natural array, and the prism is briefly goes into yellow power, but Aureil always telling us, like, you never ever want to drop out of green power just because of how many benefits it provides between training time, build time, building regen. Like, you're sacrificing so many benefits by going to anything but green power. But Control, knowing that the Celestial Eco has been pretty significantly slowed this patch, is going to come on forward and say, you know what, I know that I can be the aggressor right now. I know that you can't really do anything to be out on the map. So this early aggression from Control is going to come on out. We do see a skull land on the only Argent that's still in the game. Oh no, and it gets taken out. Oh, it's because the Morph Core was still building, so the Arc Station couldn't heal him. That's alright. Aureil is actually still ahead in supply, but I think that's mostly from prisms and cores. Control going to come on over and steal the slimes from the health camp and kind of set up his own little beachhead where he can retreat to if he needs to. Okay, so now you can just chill there. Honestly, I'm surprised there aren't more Infernal players that'll drop down an effigy inside of the health camp so they can sit there and then regen both core health and white health at the same time. A couple of Shadow Demons going to go down, but there's so much army here that a level 1 camp is going to be easy pickings for him. So we're going to come back over here and see what Aureil's up to. Drops another array down, drops his 3rd array down right around the 409, 410 mark. And yeah, it looks like that's going to be... Man, the Celestial Eco really did take a thumping. Okay, and now we're going to see more. Oh, interesting. Interesting that we've got prisms mining the high ground Therium. Alright, a couple more conclaves coming out. Man, really getting that production up and running. Plague X is about halfway done here, so I think Control just might be doing laps on the map, just picking up, yeah, creeps before building up the army and really getting into it. Interesting. We're seeing a Cabal out against Infernal players. We typically see a lot of Cabal coming out against Vanguard, but I don't see them all that much against Infernal. So I'm wondering if this is going to be more for. I mean, I hope the autocast is set to off for the debilitate, just because there's the Infernal army tends to be more swarmy-ish. And that'd be a lot of energy spent on low health units that are going to die off pretty quickly anyway. But maybe it'll be for Gravity Flux if there's higher tier tech units, like if he needs to lift up a Magmadon or a Weaver, something like that. That might be the intended use for it. But that said, this is not a big army here from Aureil. It's just a couple of Sabers, a couple of Argents, a couple of Cabal versus all this. This almost looks like a line of ants going towards your ham and mustard sandwich on a sunny picnic day. God, I really miss sunny days. Winter can't leave fast enough. Okay, but we are going to see the looks like the debilitate is going to go down on that brute. But yeah, so 4 Sabers versus all this. Good. Okay, so they. Actually, no, this one did get tagged by Nightfall, I think. Either that or it's just the, no, it couldn't have been Nightfall, or else it would be moving slower. Oh, man, okay, so they do kind of move forward and say hello to each other. Brief exchange of fire before, Control goes back to taking care of these camps. Yeah, and look at this. I mean, just look at the minimap. Every single camp minus this health camp is red. Behind all this, Control's going for his 4th. That shrine's halfway done. This shrine is halfway saturated. Like, the economy for Control is just spiraling out of control here. Shadowcleft isn't working on anything just yet, but I think the Shadowcleft is there to support the Twilight Spires so that we can see Spriggans out on the map here pretty soon, because it looks like everything that Aureil has built so far is pretty bound to the ground, and it's got heavy armor, which is what Spriggans specialize in. They specialize in taking out heavily armored things that can't really get away from them. And, and they won't really be taking that much damage. But this is a lot of gaunts. I like how many gaunts there are. I don't know that it's going to be all that effective against the... Well, okay, so... Yeah, I don't think it's going to be all that effective against these Sabers that have the heavy armor. And Sabers are great, like, anti-concave structures, such that the way that their AoE works, because it goes into a T-shape, you don't have to worry about wasted AoE going behind or in front of an arc. It just perfectly gets everything that's to either side of those gaunts that are going to try and get a good wraparound on the arc, unless they bubble up and... oh. I almost never get to catch the evolution catalyst happening on an unused camp to regenerate it, but we saw it right there. The slime's getting absolutely deleted off the map by all those Sabers, and we are starting to see a lot of things kind of creep on out here. So, yeah, Aureil's on his fourth array now. He's got all kinds of prisms just out here vacuuming up Therium and supporting that prism. They're supporting the array. Oh, that's a lot of Hexen. That's a lot of Hexen, and that can only mean one thing. It's miasma time, boys. Time for the bubbly witch's brew to steam on up from the depths, from the crags of Broken Crown. But we're just going to see a lot of maneuvering here. Not much aggression out of Control. I don't know if he's just patrolling through that speed camp to make sure that the buff is refreshed, but... Yeah, Aureil's really getting a chance to plus up to secure his position, really, right here at the front of the high ground on this ramp. Yeah, like none of these. Oh, that's gonna be a lot of miasmas. What is that effect? Alright, so the miasmas do quite a bit of damage. Alright, another arc ship going down. This is almost certainly going to be for the heals. The Vector coming on forward, see what it can do. Kind of gets wiped out. Yeah, I do hear a lot of the complaints, and you do kind of see what people are talking about when they say that the Vector's range is just so short that it might as well be a melee unit. Functionally, it's just giving it a first strike, or a first hit opportunity with other melee units. Miasma's going down here on the ramp. We're right in front of the ramp on top of all these sabers, but a couple purifications going to go down to make sure that the infest doesn't stick around, but they're camping on top of this miasma, so it's almost hard not to imagine them getting infested. And miasma lasts for so long, and they can be cast so much. Alright, Saber's an excellent matchup against these, against the Brutes, which are just going to get picked off, but here's the Spriggans, what we were talking about earlier. I think that, yeah, that has to be why the Vectors are out, to act as, anti-light, anti-air units, and they really do clean up the Spriggans quite nicely. 3 of these Hellborn are going to be lobbing shots from way downtown. Let's see who's got the longer range here. Range 14 versus range 14. Alright, same range for both, Alright, but the Weavers are out, and they're going to start doing that % max damage and start lashing as many of these sabers as they can. But there's so many sabers out on the map, I don't think they're going to be able to get much done. A single Vector is chasing back these Hellborn, and they're using a lot of firepower on units that don't clump up too well. They do manage to jump on the third and final saber, and they recall back to where they were. Dragon is out for control, but now he's down by like more than 100 supplies, so I don't know what's going to happen here. He's really got to turn something around. Oh no, the Vectors are going to catch the Dragon. Dragon's going to try to retreat, but the infestation does stick with them after they retreat. And the Dragon is going to get a lot of damage done, and staying on top of the shroud is going to help regenerate that white health quite a bit, just because it does heal white health by percentage of max health. Oh, and a very forward Surge Dissension Matrix for that 20% damage buff is going to be crucial here. You know what? I wonder how that damage buff affects Weavers. If it affects the damage after they do it, or if it doesn't affect them at all. But there's the GG from Control. Game 1 is going to go to Aureil. On to game number 2. Hey guys, it's Frank with game number 2 between Aureil and Control in this show match of 9 maps. We're already going to see 2 Gaunts here on Isle of Dread coming forward. Are they going to go for the Speed camp? Oh, they're just waiting for the Hexen to come back home. It's not that the Hexen didn't want to harass; it's that yeah, his infest was needed elsewhere. Man, not throwing down an effigy, I think, is going to be a little bit painful. But I do oh man, the Fiend goes down. Eesh. No! Oh no, it did spawn. Another one bites the dust. Bow. Free expansion is made. Because Isle of Dread is so big that you can expand for free. Hey, gonna go back north to get the Speed camp. Okay, yeah. So this a very early Seraphim. I usually don't see Seraphim until like late game, just because of I don't know, like Legion Halls just don't seem as practical as Starforges. There we go, it's zipping around. Okay, but it's revealed, so yeah, I guess he had to. There's no option there. Oh, that's a lot of Gaunts that will be facing off against these Seraphim. Is the Creation Chamber getting surged? No, it's still being built. No, it's not being built anymore. It's done. Why does it still look like it's being built? Might be a replay bug. Okay, Seraphim are going to come back around, take care of the effigy, which is nice. Make sure that there's no white health being Made the skull. Connects. Gives vision. Man, a Seraphim army is interesting. It is actually going to hold. But we're also going to see an Argent come out as well. One Seraphim does go down. That is and actually taking out that Hexen would be huge. But it's going to be the Gaunt that goes down first, and the Hexen's teleported too recently, I think, and now it's actually going to fall. So now there's no Infest Sores here for control. It does have his natural up, but there's absolutely nothing being mined on it. I think he might have gone a little bit too ham and cheese on the aggression here, sending reinforcements across the map, and didn't bother building workers over here. So he does have, okay, he's got 3 imps assigned to the Luminite mine, but we only see 1 there. It's probably others that are, yeah, they're moving on over. But yeah, very cool hold. I don't know that I've ever wondered about whether or not Seraphim could, like a very early Seraphim could hold that kind of aggression before, but now we have the answer, which is kind of cool. Let's see here. I honestly, I see Seraphim used so infrequently in large numbers that I don't know much about them. Let's have a look here. The Lawata of the Venatora. Whoa. Dealing flat damage, no bonuses, and no armor. Interesting. But it takes next to no damage from creeps. I really like that. You know what? I wonder if this is a reaction from Aureil because he was basically getting like bullied away from all the creeps last map, that he wants to be a little bit more dominant this time around and deny the resources from our Infernal player to just to make sure that, like, because the Infernal is typically the army that tends to dominate creep camps on the map, just saying like, hey, I know you rely on this, on the creep bounties, so I'm going to take them before you get them. And yeah, he still might be able to use some fiends to run around the map and secure the camps themselves, but it's not going to be nearly as much of an economic boon for control as it normally might be. Yeah, we already see that both health camps belong to Aureil, as well as the Therium camp. Oh man. Yeah. Oh, and this is gonna fall to Aureil as well. The energy regen camp. Yeah, taking out these camps to deny the bonus Therium and bonus Luminite that comes from taking these camps is gonna be fantastic. It doesn't actually get the buff, the energy regen buff, which admittedly would be really useful on a Celestial army. But denying that bonus... Ooh, Archangels! Archangels can land some sick connections on imps and gaunts and just, like, make an absolute mess of those low health units. I don't know that we have... Okay, we don't have the ground fire upgrade yet, but we have upgraded to a Jesus House. And we've got more Archangels coming out. I think this is just going to be the... This might just be the Bug Splat build, where he's just going to find his, like, the highest concentration of imps that he can, splat them, then run away. And there's no reason not to. Oh, come on. Big money, no worries. Oh, it's so good. Oh, no. Ah. What was 12 imps is now 2, and the Archangel still manages to get out. I don't know how many... what we're going to have for healing there. Oh, the Gaunts, they probably saw the Archangel on the way out. Oh, no. Yeah, and here's a bunch of corpses, too. We probably missed one over at the natural. Man, those connections are so satisfying to watch. And Aureil's really starting to pull way ahead here with the supply. Double the amount the Control has. Yeah, and Control's really got to start plussing up his army numbers. The expansions are great when they're saturated, but I think he can basically count on not having a saturated base anywhere anymore. Like, the double Luminite is kind of over. No! Shadow Flyers! Do have good connections on the Archangel. Not the connection he was hoping for, I think. Archangel does Avatar and get out of there. Yeah, there's more. Another good connection on these imps, but the Archangel's going to stay on the high ground and just keep an eye out for when they're going to continue mining. splat. Just the absolute... I don't know. I'm calling this the splatter build now. The splatter... The celestial splatter build. Okay, awesome. Yeah, the Archangel does manage to come back home and get healed up by the Jesus House. And this one's going to keep on cruising on forward. Man, the effect on the wings just looks so cool to me. And, oh, that's a bunch of gaunts. That's a bunch of gaunts. You can do it. Oh, no. Yes! 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 That makes me so happy. Ah. Beautiful connections there. And those gaunts are now all tied up while these, you know, what is it? Like, these brutes and 2 gaunts are going to keep on marching forwards like, oh, you know, you can get them. You sure can. And now he's, yeah, the Archangel's just going to pick up and leave. Go back and get healed up while the Jesus House continues to get recharged by the... Well, honestly, he should come over here and recharge a little bit more from the power banks, but, yeah, fantastic. Yeah, this is like the Sky Celestial build. You can't really call it the Golden Armada. Okay, Superstone falls in, like, 4 seconds. Oh, and the Shadow Flare is being used on the Seraphim, which is unfortunate. Nightfall Infestation does land on 4 out of the 5 Archangels here. But I think they can just take off and not worry about it so much. Yeah, and like, they do so much damage, even on the ground against these Gaunts. Just wave after wave of Gaunt. Falling to the, like the wave AoE of these Archangels. The Archangels are taking a bit of a thrashing though. They're getting kind of low on health. The triple pounce on like what, the second to last Gaunt. Was it overkill? Yes. Was it still cool looking? Absolutely. So sick. Okay, so the double Luminite base for control is wiped off the map, but Aureil floating 2,800. Okay, still all right. Floating 2K Luminite now needs to, I don't know, build production or build power banks or build something. Hold down the Argent key if you want to, but it's quite a bit of resources getting floated up there and getting used up. Okay, a couple of Archangels coming forward. They all get hit by the Shadow Flyers. They need to jump. Oh, one of them does get taken out by the Shadow Flyers actually. All right. That Archangel avatars, do a little Mario noise. Oh, I should have the Mario noise on standby on like a soundboard or something. Yeah, and he does take quite a bit of damage from that from the Shroud Stone, but he's gonna get out, and yeah, things are gonna slow back down again. Yeah, the double Luminite, losing the double Luminite base is just absolute pain. But what do you do now? Like there's no, like Miasma won't really be useful here, just because of the nature of the mobility of flying units. Like, okay, they don't have to worry about being stuck around terrain or not having to, like, getting bunched up trying to walk around a corner or something like that. They can just fly away from the Miasma or land a Purify. I mean, shoot, Aureil's got 98 power right now and more Luminite than Control does by a long shot anyway. And Control, supply blocked at 72 right now is hurting a little bit. But yeah, so now what's in store for Aureil? Is he really gonna max out on Archangel? No, okay, we see some vectors as well, which is pretty cool. All right, the Ascension Matrix getting upgraded. I think this is gonna be for both the Vector and the Archangel upgrades. But which one is he gonna upgrade first? I would imagine the Archangel upgrades, because that's where most of his DPS and that's where most of the value from his army is going, but we don't see anything coming out just yet. And no aggression from Control yet. You know what? I really think that this is taking out these camps that were closer to Control early in the game really had a compounding effect. Just the like slowing down the different tech and the structures that get unlocked that an Infernal player would normally have earlier on because they have those economic boosts. Really, yeah, really slowed Control down. I'm wondering now, like, what's is he gonna try and retake the double? Okay, he is retaking the double Luminite, and he's got a couple of fiends over here that can't attack these flying workers. So they do get a good scout. They do see that the Therium Purifier is up and running. A bunch of link nodes are nearly done. There we go. The strike node finishes up, and this link node is going to be regenerating because Aureil absolutely focuses on having green power across the board. Okay. Seraphim going to be taking out these... oh! Big connections by the Shadow Flyers. Doesn't manage to kill any of these Seraphim. That Seraphim needs to leave. These Seraphim need to leave. All the Seraphim need to leave. Okay, but Control's Gaunts are going to come on forward and have quite a bit of DPS density on this on the Bruiser, but man, he's got so much health. It finally goes down. Now we're down to the Pipers with the Hurt Stick and the Propane Pain Stick. God, I love the names of these weapons. You know what? I think... What is this? The Lawota of the Venator? I want to say there's a voice line that that Castiel says, where he says Lawota with something. Okay, I think Aureil might have seen that the shrine was still under construction, so he might be waiting for these imps. Yeah! He's waiting for the imps to come back so he can take them all out on the return trip. Oh, there's so many imps. That little trail of blood of imp corpses is just so sad. All right, now we're gonna see the lashes coming on forward from these from the Weavers, but the Weavers are taking so much damage from both the Archangels and the Sabers. I don't know how you stop this this Celestial army. Twilight Spire is under attack now, and it's gonna go down. Actually, it's lasting quite a bit longer than I thought it would, but there's the GG from Control. He sees way too much Celestial right on his doorstep and decides that it's time for game number 3. Aureil's going to go up 2-0 in this series of 9. What's going on, guys? Here we are in game number 3 in this best of 9 between Aureil and Control. And we're seeing some super early aggression here with the some imps and a Hexen. We're going to see an Iron Vault and the Meat Farm go down pretty quickly. And yeah, that Meat Farm is meant to just build free units to attack that array. That array needs to finish up for Aureil to have a decent economy. But oh no, a Conclave goes down. And I think Control's going to have to cancel this and rebuild. Does the imp die? No, the imp doesn't die. Morph Course forward as well, trying to do what it can to contribute to the DPS, and the imp is going to... No, the imp goes down! The imp goes down. Okay, but this Meat Farm does finish up. We're still waiting. I think it's every 30 seconds? 20 seconds. Fellhog, takes 20 seconds for a Fellhog to be made. Oh, but it spawns on the wrong side of the Meat Farm, so it can't get to the, it can't get to the collection array to start doing damage to it. Do we see anything? Oh, but behind all this, we're going to see the natural go down for Control. So while he's being a pest with the, with a Vault, yeah, and even the Brute's already out on the map. Okay, so this second Fellhog is going to start doing damage to the array. And they've already done, like, a fair bit of damage to it. Aureil deciding that it's worth going down, dipping down into yellow power to burn a Sovereign's Watch. Couple of... Not the Fellhogs! 1, 2, 3 Fellhogs go down, along with the rest of the army units of Control that are so far forward, but because the Sovereign's Watch spent so much time DPSing down the Fellhogs, it runs out and doesn't have time to finish off the Meat Farm before one last Fellhog spawns and gets a single hit out. There's a Brute that's kind of hidden back here by one of the leaves of the array. I wonder if he's actually going to be able to take care of it. No, so he does lift off the collection array. And now this Brute has nothing left to do but to, you know, go over here and get tickled by a couple of water balloons from the Argents and a couple of charge shots from the other Argent. Okay, so we are up to a respectable amount of Argents now that can reasonably defend this natural. And we've already got the Shrine finished up for Control, but we don't see any imps on it just yet. I think those early imps being used for structures in the natural of Control, or in Aureil's natural, really kind of set him back in terms of mining. But we are finally going to see some imps starting to build stuff, and a Ethereum Shrine is interesting. It makes sense. You don't want your imps taking, like, that's a huge trip for an imp to make. And then once these, yeah, we See a scan go down. So he does see the natural finishing up, but I think he doesn't... I think he didn't see that Therium Shrine going down. Okay, what's missing now? I think Control needs a couple of Brutes, and then going for this Therium Camp would be a good idea. But he's moving out, despite the fact that all these Argents are showing up to his natural. And there we go. Yeah, this is a smart idea. Use a single Argent to take that health camp, so that once the reinforcements show back up to defend, you can keep fighting from that health camp, and then just have like the passive health regen during the fight. Like sitting on top of a health camp as you fight is just so good. Go back to the health camp. No, why are you don't fight on Shroud? Even like staying right back here, that's like really far away from the Shroud, so that the Gaunts don't get the Plague Axe hits, would be super nice. But decides to not do that, and is going to go all the way back home with his merry band of Argents. Another Conclave and a meat farm going down in the natural of Control. And nothing more coming out of the Creation Chamber. We don't have the third upgrade for the Gaunts just yet, but it is kind of coming along. Okay, back to Aureil's side of the map. So we see a couple of Creation Chambers, a bunch of Star Forges, and the first Saber popping out. Let's see, do we have more Sabers coming? We have one more Saber on the way. But I like this little hopscotch of link nodes that's slowly pushing forward. And this is almost like a... Again, this is kind of what you would see maybe something like someone like Filibuster do, where they're slowly like creeping forward, using their structures to like leapfrog forward. And yeah, building production structure here. I think he's just really setting up for he wants to camp out at this Luminite camp for a long, long time, and both deny as well as benefit from the Luminite camp. Alright, I think this Saber is... That's not a lot of units. I mean, that's not a lot of Argent. 3 Sabers is pretty good, but yeah, actually, it would win that fight. And Aureil is going to be able to take the bounty for that Bruiser defending the Luminite camp, and he's going to be able to just sit on there and camp on it. Is this yeah, we do have a strike node here, and again he's just like doing his little leapfrogs forward with his link nodes. Offensive Ascension Matrix going down, giving a 20% damage buff to all the units within range of it. No, this little pack of Argents getting pushed back by the Gaunts. Man, these two Argents get turned into Fiends. Yeah, these Sabers need to leave. And now it looks like Aureil's army is reduced to that Argent and these Sabers. So if he loses those 4 Sabers, he's in pretty deep trouble. 5th Saber joins the squadron of 4. But Control doesn't want to contest that camp. I think he's worried that there's a lot of static defense on the high ground here, and I think he would be correct. Yeah. There's a blast node, strike node, blast node? We love us some symmetry here on the Frank Sriracha Jr. channel. There it is. Okay. It's also interesting because I don't know what the range is on this blast node. Is it going to be able to shoot down on imps if they try to like come down here to build a 3rd at the double Luminite, or a 4th, excuse me, a 5th rather? So there's already one shrine being... I don't know, do you consider this a separate base, since it's just a... Like, I don't consider a scrapyard a separate base. And this is functionally a scrapyard for the Infernal player. Control, moving on out back to the speed camp. Oh man, taking the oh, what is this? It's just a bunch of fiends that are going to start attacking this array. It is. The array gets cancelled. Morphcore is going to start shooting water balloons at the fiends, and the fiends are going to say, "Hey, mage leave, mage quit." Single fiend is going to come back and start doing damage to that. That's so annoying. Alright, and these fiends taking care of some of the link nodes here at the center of the map. I don't know that it's going to be all that impactful, though. Really, all it's doing is freeing up power for Aureil. I love that sound effect of a lot of weavers walking at the same time. You kind of hear the ground rumbling a bit. Pretty cool. Okay, Gaunts do get pulled back, so they're not taking the brunt of the AOE. Another scan goes down to check for buildings around here, but I don't think he's going to see all that much. Ritual Chamber isn't upgrading anything at the moment. That's because the Gaunts are fully upgraded, and holy sabers, that's a lot of sabers. We just see a single harpoon here from another lash going down, another lash going down. All right, he's doing a pretty good job of taking out these sabers as best he can. Oh, great connection from the blast node. Okay, and now the Celestial Army's getting really close to these imps. He's got to figure out something to do with them because he's getting good lashes on the sabers, but I think the DPS behind it just isn't there right now. And the more he fights, the more he's running out of units that'll actually deal damage to his opponent's army. Control is down to 57 supply to Aureil's 132. Spriggans are a fantastic idea against this army composition. I think he's going to be able to chase a lot of these down, but anticipating this, Aureil's already made a couple of vectors, which are in turn a really good anti-air unit. So the counter to the counter is pretty good, and even this many Spriggans against 2 vectors is not a good matchup in my opinion. Yeah, there you go. If you're controlling the Spriggans, just getting the damage done to the sabers while you can is the move, I think. All right, the sabers successfully take out that Therium Shrine, and the yeah, looks like the Weavers are going to get a couple more good lashes. And what was once a really big ball of sabers has kind of really been whittled down just to 5. Now 5 sabers against what Control has left over is still a lot, but the supply gap isn't as wide as it once was. There we go. Again, the Weavers successfully, you know, it's a good lash, but there's no units, there's no tier 1 units supporting to deal all the damage that they need to. And now it looks like the sabers are starting to get on top of all the production. See a bunch of link nodes go down all at once. I don't know that I've ever seen that before. And there's the GG from Control. Aureil's going to go up 3-0 in this best of 9. Hey guys, here we are in game number 4 between Aureil and Control in this show match of 9 maps. Aureil is currently up 3-0 against Control, but we're going to see if that's going to change on Ruination. We've got Control, our red Infernal player in the lower right, and Aureil, our Celestial player in the upper left corner of the map. You know what? I've noticed that I don't say that. I don't say that as much as other casters do, like announcing the location, just because I know that my audience can see these symbols. You know who's which player. And by extrapolating, like, match the colors, okay, Pumpkin, you see that the blue player is in the upper left, and the red player is in the lower right. Like, am I... Maybe it is just something to fill dead air with, but I noticed that I don't say those things, and that honestly, the more professional casters do say it. So maybe it's something I need to start including, but I don't know. To me, it always seemed kind of like, well, yeah, you just 2 + 2 is 4. But anyway, we're gonna see a bunch of fiends that came from the Shadow Mastiffs in that siege camp. I'm gonna come on over and take care of these link nodes. Yeah, there's no way it turns into a strike node. And yeah, the first, oh man, that's gonna be rough. This first Argent's gonna have one hell of a time defending here. And is this Morph Core Disco Ball gonna be killed off? It is. No, the Morph Core gets killed off and the power node never finishes. Whoa! The fastest GG in the West. Alright, Control's going to take a map. On to map number 5, I guess. Hey guys, it's Frank. Here's Aureil. here's Control. War on Lost Hope. It is a show match of 9 maps. So, yeah, pretty standard stuff right now. Hexen didn't stick around to do more damage to the prisms. And, yeah, we're just playing little micro games to make sure that we can maximize how many fiends are going to pop out of this health camp. Meanwhile, back over here for Aureil, we already have an Arc Station out. And it looks like a wall off here on the ramp to his natural, but we don't see another array coming down yet, but we do see a Surge Legion Hall pumping out a Seraphim. Now we did see on what map was that? I think it was Isle of Dread that Aureil was using Seraphim and mostly just Seraphim to run around the map. Oh, I love that wall in. Yeah, the strike nodes stay safe behind the power banks there, and I think Control realized that he doesn't want to use what little army he has right now, because that could snowball into very bad things for him later on. But yeah, I'm wondering if we're going to see the same thing that we saw on Isle of Dread, where it was a bunch of Seraphim running around, taking camps, and really contesting the number of camps that that Control was able to get, because instead of the typically very, like, I don't know, expansion heavy, like, hey, I own all the camps on the map, Infernal playstyle, Aureil kind of comes out and says, you know what? No, we're gonna have to race to the camps here, and yeah, sends out like just that one lone Seraphim took out a speed camp, and a lone Seraphim is gonna take out this health camp, and there's gonna be another health camp that falls to it. That's all resources that Control's not going to get. Back home. Okay, we do finally see a second array pop down. What do we have for tech over on the side of Control? We've got the Ritual Chamber coming online now, but it's mostly just getting that first expansion down. And, are they going to see each other? Okay, they are going to see each other, and because the Seraphim aren't optimized to fight against armies, they're just mostly optimized to fight against camps. Oh, did he steal it? I didn't see. No, I think Control got both of those. But it was a good effort. It was a good idea. It's always hard to judge just how long a projectile is going to take, especially at that camera angle. It's kind of weird because the projectile is facing directly away from you. Second Legion Hall is coming down. Man, this is... I think this is going to be the splatter build again out of Aureil. I think he's going to be building Archangels here pretty soon. That's why he's building so many Legion Halls. Because building Archangels one at a time in series is quite painful. God, I love this animation on the shrine that's upgrading. As it's upgrading to a greater shrine. Yeah, just the spiky floweriness to it is really cool. Okay, Control did take the central vision camp, and now he's sending imps out. He's sending an imp out that way. I don't know what that brute's going off to. Oh no, and this red power, man, Aureil dipped down to red power to get the Sovereign's Watch done, but I don't think it's going to be able to scare off this amount of Infernals. He's going to be able to take out a bunch of Fiends and like a Brute, but I don't know if that was, I mean, losing a collection array is just a massive hit to the economy right now, and yeah, losing Therium Purifier is also kind of painful. No, not the Prism. The Prisms are so expensive and so squishy. Does it live? Does it live? With 1 health? No, it finally went down. Oh man, I was holding my breath there for a little bit. Okay, so now it's gonna be Seraphim. There we go, and there's Big Daddy Archangel, ready to pounce on these. There we go. Good connection on those gaunts. Excuse me. And a Superstone going down right in the face of this Archangel, but he's gonna do his. No, he's running really low on health, and he is one-shotting these gaunts. Yeah, the bonk stick of justice coming out here. And I think he's going to try and get it healed up, but how much, he's certainly got enough energy for it. Okay, there's the heal. Yeah, and now Control's going to go back home. And I think this is the right move to just continue to eco up and try to outpace the production from Aureil, but he recognizes that there are going to be more archangels coming, and there's going to be the same composition, the Seraphim archangel comp. So he's got a couple of shadow flyers out. I wouldn't hate seeing Spriggans. Spriggans just do a great job at dismantling the archangels and making sure that they can't attack as fast. Now, do they do anything to defend against the pounce that the archangels have? Not really, but it's not like they're getting hit with the pounce anyway. Meanwhile, back over on like look at how big this I keep calling it the Jesus House, the Arc Fortress. Yeah, it's just really, really big, taking up a big portion of the map there. But yeah, so what does Control do now? Does he go for a fourth? I know he's going for he wants to maintain the control of the health camp, which is fine. Looks like this Archangel got hit by a couple of Shadow Flyers there. It looks like he's going to live to go back home. But yeah, it looks like things are just going to slow way down. Which honestly, I think Aureil's okay with. He already lost one collection array. It wouldn't hurt to build another morph core and maybe put an array down somewhere else. Now both armies are big enough and mobile enough that they could probably spot one another if they try to do any kind of sneaky expansion shenanigans without setting down some kind of defense first. So it'll be hard. It'll be hard to take another Luminite rock. That, and I think neither one of them wants to slow down, knowing how fast the oh, that looks like it was a great connection there on the imps. Oh, he flies through a purification just to get rid of the binding saliva. But let's see here. What's the move speed? Yeah, I think he is getting outsped here. Move speed is 5.5 base versus 6 base. So yeah, the Spriggans will catch and kill this Archangel eventually. Yeah, you know what? I think if he'd have turned and just fought these Spriggans head on, he would have been all right. But Spriggans moving just a little bit faster. They probably could have kited it. But still, yeah, it's a good way to clean up Archangels. Full surround on the Gaunts is going to make easy work out of this Shadow Demon. So yeah, Aureil's not as far ahead as he typically would be. Yeah, the supply gap is really closing quickly here between Control and Aureil. Aureil is still ahead by a little bit, but I think it's because these Archangels just take up so much supply that it's a little bit deceiving. Yeah, here's the array again. Is he going to try and come down with 3 Archangels? Okay, he stands to make some really good connections here. Is he just going to be like... Is he just like punching his way out? What? Archangels, jump! Bam, bam, bam. Nicely done. One Archangel does fall on the way down. It does take out a bunch of Gaunts, but there's just so many Fiends left over that I don't think it's going to be enough. And yeah, like what's left to defend Aureil's base right now? He's got a Sovereign's Watch that went down, but it's on a power bank. Yeah, I think it's not long for this world. Down it goes. He's on red power now. He could probably get another jump down on some of these Gaunts, but okay, it does use Avatar to get more max health. That AoE is actually going to be fantastic damage, or it would have. But all right, Aureil GG's out. Oh, excuse me, it's Aureil that's up 3-2 now, and we're on to game 6. I do apologize. What's going on, guys? Here we are in game 6 between Control and Aureil. And yeah, here we are on Boneyard. And we're going to see, I think Control just automatically assumes that the array is being built in the natural layer. And he probably knows that there's nothing you can do to stop it either. Like, I think even if he right-clicked right next to this Luminite mine, right when the game started, he wouldn't be able to body block it. So comes forward, make sure that there aren't any production structures being built in the main here, nothing's being hidden, and making sure that basically that Aureil's spending money as fast as he should be. Yeah. And he's going to go home. Conclave finishes up. And where are those gone? There we go. Gaunts and Fiends all regenerating their health. Man, that was a quick health camp. Oh, and I love this shrine placement. This is my favorite place for a command structure to go down, actually. I know it makes it a little bit awkward to take this camp later on, but I actually think that taking out these trees once you've got the ability to do so is actually better for the defending player. Just being able to have more stuff shooting from the high ground where these trees are is better, and make sure that there's like more room for the workers to maneuver in this natural is really good. A couple of fiends are already in the natural for Aureil here, doing damage to that power bank, and they do take it down to half life, but it's not something worth continuing. But looks like Control is going to wisely deny the resources that would come out of these Shadow Demons. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. We don't see Aureil going up to tier 2 just yet. Looks like he's just holding down the Argent button. And this is a lot of fiends to be chasing those Argents with, or for those Argents to be engaging into. Honestly, I think Control could have had that fight. But building on the ramp is pretty nice. I like that we're kind of getting back, we're reaching back to our RTS roots and seeing that walling off a ramp is, walling off is cool again. Okay, yeah, these Argents are going to be able to chase off the Gaunts and the Hexen, but again, I think because the Gaunts are light armored, they could probably stand to take a couple of hits. Then again, you don't want to be using, you don't want to be trading out HP on your high DPS units for energy on the opponent's units. So maybe doesn't want to engage into all those Argents while they're high on energy, which makes sense. Speaking of, Aureil's using a lot of energy to take this health camp, which is fine. That's what it's there for. But I'd be a little bit worried, like, if Control turns around right now and decides to fight. It's like, all right, how many charged shots do all these Argents have? Not as much as they had before. Double Starforge going down. I wonder what this is going to turn into. I know we see a lot of Gaunts, but it's probably going to be another Saber Festival. Sabers are just so good. They're yeah, they're just flat out good. Like their AoE is fine. Oh man, burning a Sovereign's Watch for 2 fiends is kind of rough. Is the Prism gonna get out of there? No, he doesn't. And now the Therium Purifier's in trouble. Effigy gets dropped down so that these Gaunts have Infest up and running. Yeah, I think this Therium Purifier is just kind of done for. Maybe not. Yeah, I guess they are going to get chased off here. Despite being all, like, mostly low on power. Splitting the army like that's always kind of a... My stomach jumps up into my throat a little bit, because I've done that trying to, like, get a good wraparound on a retreating army, just to have, both smaller forces individually taken out, one at a time by the larger force, and it's like, well, why did I bother trying to split up my death blob when I was doing just fine? But, yeah. Oh, interesting. Skull of Chatter's still got 1 HP. Doesn't land. Yeah, focusing fire on the, Oh! I thought that was going to be a huge connection on the Nightfall Infestation, but the Purified, right in the nick of time, manages to prevent that. And here's the first Saber coming out on the map. Aureil is way ahead in terms of supply, but you know what? I think he's... Yeah, Aureil's trying to fight. He's kind of backed himself into a choke. He's trying to bait Control to come back and fight through that choke as well, which I think is a sign for both players. They both kind of need to go home. Well, no, this Saber's actually putting in quite a bit of work, saying, yep, I can outrange everything. You can either fight into this choke and face the Argents and the Saber, or retreat and try to stay out of the choke and still take damage from the Saber and not be able to engage. Decides to go straight home and chill on top of his own shroud, just to regenerate a little bit there. Yeah, and taking up the level 2 health camp just to make sure he's got that passive. So another recent, and I guess it's been kind of a known thing for a while now. But there's an added incentive that I think doesn't get enough attention, and that's the fact that as the creep camps level up, the reward that they give for their global passive gets better as well. So it's not just, hey, you have to take a harder fight to get the exact same buff that you had before. No, it's every time that the health camp levels up, it gets an additional 0.5 health per second for the global health buff. How are these sabers getting vision of the high ground, I wonder? Is there a scan that went down? I don't know. There's no scanner. But no, now we see, yeah, the Ascension Matrix is very far forward here, and it is surged. So all these units are going to be getting that 20% damage bonus as they move forward. But Aureil's also on yellow power, which I know he doesn't like to be on, despite the fact that he's got so many power banks forward here. Well, I've never seen that before. A Weaver pulled a Saber onto the high ground. That's a new one for me. Now, how does he get down? Superstone goes down and takes care of that Saber. Oh no, but the Superstone kills what I imagine was a Link node right when it spawned in. That's unfortunate. Yeah, how's he getting vision of this high ground? Alright. Yeah, it looks like Aureil's just got so much on the ground right now, and he's got double of control supply. Yeah, it looks like the Natural's going to fall. There's really not much in the way of an army. It's a bunch of Gaunts and a Weaver and a single Hexen. Just this weird little mishmash of units here for control that are going to come forward and try to contest. Another Ascension Matrix is going to go down and get surged for the 20% damage buff. Man, it's so good. My one complaint is that we have no idea what the radius is for this damage buff. So, oh, and I can't click on him because the game's over. But all right, another game goes to Aureil, and we're going to move on to game number 7. All right, guys, game 7 on Secluded Grove in this best of 9 between Aureil and Control. We see the Hexen teleport back home. Pretty standard stuff. No expansion first, actually, which is interesting, but it does make sense. This is a bit of a smaller map. He wants to start getting his buffs earlier, which is interesting. I would imagine that just because Celestial Eco has been slowed down so much that taking that natural expand is kind of free. Decides to go for the camps instead, though, which is fine. Yeah, we see some Gaunts that are on the way to back up the Brute Hexen combo. Gaunt finally falls. Oof. That fiend needs a cabbage ASAP. There it is. Yeah, this is really interesting. Okay, so as we've, I've noticed as the series has gone on, we're seeing more. Oh no, he's trying to do the Zealot door thing with this, with that lone Argent, and it wouldn't have worked. Actually, I think if those fiends would have gotten past that Argent and into this base, it could have done quite a bit of damage and forced the decision of like, all right, well, do you burn energy to use a Sovereign's Watch and then the fiends just leave because they're not going to take any damage from a single Argent, or what? Like that, I think there was very little that Aureil could have done right there if Control would have decided to press the attack. But he decided not to. Decides to go for the Vision Camp instead, and he's just going to keep on creeping around the map, taking advantage of the fact that he's got such a large army, so much of a larger army earlier on, that may as well make the best of it. Here's the Ritual Chamber just starting up, so we'll see Plague X's eventually, and possibly Miasma? I don't know. We've only seen Mass Hexen once so far this series, and it didn't work out all that well, so I think Mass Miasma is just maybe not going to happen. It's probably because of the, because Celestials have the Purify ability, and they can just call down a Purify to undo any of the infestation that happens, but, yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. Even without Miasma, Venom Traps are really good. Because they just cost, like, you can walk away from them. You don't necessarily have to babysit your Venom Traps for the opponent to set them off. And they do infest, they do a bunch of damage. I still think that Adept training, even if you're not going to stick to Mastery training, having Adept training for Hexen is really good. In any matchup, honestly. Okay, so all the Fiends are going to come up here to the Vision Camp. There we go, get a fruit to tank everything. Alright, and this little hit squad is going to find this Building Guardian Nexus, which looks like it is going to get taken out. That's unfortunate. I wonder if that was a cancel. Hopefully it was canceled. A couple Argents come forward and take out a bunch of the Fiends, but hey, they're Fiends. They can always, you know, you can always get more from a random camp or something like that. Yeah, not much in terms of the PvP side of this thing. Control's going to continue to keep on cycling around the map and getting more and more creep camps, getting more and more Fiends, really getting a lot more of the that kind of bubble wrap shield for his actual DPS units. That being said, Fiends themselves do a significant amount of damage. They are functionally a Zergling. And that they have very low HP, but if you leave them alone, they'll do quite a bit of damage. So yeah, we'll see what happens with that. But a lot of Creation Chambers instead of a bunch of Star Forges or a bunch of Legion Halls is kind of different. I'm used to Aureil building Legion Halls and then going full, you know, full Seraphim Archangel or you know, Star Forges for the Vector and Saber. What are these Fiends targeting? It's kind of an odd choice to target the Fury Purifier. But it looks like, yeah, all the Gaunts are going to come forward. They do manage to take out a Prism. But that's about it. Okay, Sovereign's Watch does get popped, but got popped on Control's Retreat, so I think it was largely not used, which is fine. Guardian Nexus is going to finish off the rollout upgrade, and we're going to see Reaper's Rush finishing up for Control. So that means we're finally going to see these Gaunts moving a little bit quicker. They might not get caught as hard by the Creed that are going to be roly-polying around the map. We'll see. Again, we've seen a couple of pokes in and out from these two players, but no real huge fights just yet. I think Control realized that Aureil's got a pretty good defense right now, especially in this choke. He doesn't want to fight into that choke, but I don't see anything on the high ground that would prevent much. Like if a bunch of Fiends got in here, and as long as they stayed away from like other units and stuff, they could probably take out that Therian Purifier. A fully charged up Animancer is also an interesting choice. Yeah, there's the AoE stealth. Man, that's scary. Alright, so what's the target going to be? It's almost definitely going to be this, the worker line here, but is he going to split half of his, so he does spot that this, third is being built. No, a couple of them, pop out a little bit too early. Now these Kree are going to pop out as well, and they're going to start taking care of the worker line back here, but a Superstone gets dropped, and I don't think these Kree are going to have the DPS take care of the Superstone, as well as the army that's going to reinforce from the south. Meanwhile, these Kree are going to start doing, well, what damage they can against this shrine, but they're not meant as like an anti-building or anti-structure unit. They'd be better off targeting down these imps, but they don't. And because they didn't, there was no trees that were mowed down to get in there. They're going to have to, like, run through the Infernal Army to get out of there. But looks like they want to stay on the attack. And yeah, this three-pronged attack, these Kree are just causing so much chaos for Control. It's kind of hard for him to deal with all of it, but deal with it he does. And now it's just these three Kree that are going to go back home. Looks like that Kree survives. No way. 1 health is going to manage to make it back home. Are Kree that expensive? Not that expensive, but you know, every little bit of efficiency that you can get out of an army is good. So we've got a single Archangel now. Not the typical, oh no, a stealth Archangel would be absolutely terrifying. What do you do against that? What do you do against a stealth Archangel that just meteor smashes into your worker line? That could be pretty spicy. It's interesting also to see that Aureil is floating so much Luminite, and Control, the Infernal player, is floating so much Therium. Yeah, I think it does seem like the limiting factor here for Control is Luminite, but that's not typically what you see. Holy no! This is so much Infernal coming on forward, and then these alright, here come the invisible Archangels. Are they gonna get good connections? They do try to land on top of these on top of the gaunts. They land the Weaver tries to get out of there, but dies right before he teleports back home. And yeah, it looks like this entire Infernal Force just gets cleaned up. Control's down by 70 supply, 80 supply. And yeah, I think both players back to trying to build up an army that'll go, you know, kill their opponent in one fell swoop. But after Control took that engagement and realized just how much he didn't get done, I think he's going to have to go back to the drawing board and think about what he's going to do. So, for those of you in chat that are wondering, like, well, what do you do against a Kree Archangel, Animancer, Argent? Like, this is really turning into, like, a lot of different units at once. I think if Control knows that he can't take a straight-up fight, don't take a straight-up fight. Like, send a drop or something over here, or send some Spriggans to go flank and really kind of pull Aureil apart, because he does have a really scary-looking army, but it's not that high in numbers. I think he wouldn't want to split his already kind of small army into smaller pieces. So I think avoiding the direct engagement and going for more of an asymmetric warfare would be to his benefit. Archangel's gonna see... Nope. I've never seen an Archangel used to mow down the trees before, but it is effective. And now I wonder if he's gonna... He's definitely not gonna meteor smash the those poor little fell hogs. But I wonder if he's gonna build into the center. No, he's not. Speaking of direct engagements, here comes the big one. The Archangels are going to move on forward. Are they going to pounce on top of all those gaunts? They are. They're going to start doing their AoE wave damage. But the Hellborn with Molten Touch are going to start doing so much fantastic damage. Really good connections against this giant ball of Celestials. But the Purify is going to make sure that they're not going to take the dot from those Hellborn. This Hellborn's a little bit too far forward. He is going to get caught by some of these Kree. And again, Control's army is just completely, well, almost completely wiped off the map. But Aureil's now also really far behind on power. He's on red power. He's got a bunch of power banks coming online though, and I think that'll be a really good use for all of his all of that Luminite that he was floating. It's just like throw down 1 million power nodes or power banks, excuse me, and then you never have to worry about it again. But as he builds power banks, he's also building production structures and upgrade structures and a really forward ascension matrix for the AoE buff. So it's not like he's really building a surplus of power for himself. But he's got a little bit of wiggle room here. Oh, a Surged Arc Fortress coming on forward. And that's a scary number of Archangels as well. You know, I wonder if this Arc Fortress is so far forward just to get a lot of healing done a little bit closer to his army, just so the army doesn't have to go all the way back, and the Arc Fortress can still heal everything up. Could be. Again, we don't see much out of control right now. And yeah, again, it does seem like the Luminite is his limiting factor here. But he's got, I mean, he's got full saturation on his third and on his fourth. Like, and in fact, he's super saturated his fourth. Oh, but that's because his main's already done. Here's the Spriggans. Here's a fifth as well. So not only do the Spriggans get caught, but the the shrine would have already been seen though by this by that array. So it's no secret then that the next battle is going to be for this expansion. But taking out an array is a pretty big deal. I think it's gonna. I don't know that it'll necessarily stop Aureil, but it'll certainly slow him down. Let me see. Stop collection order. That's interesting. What do we have coming online here? I never know which Ascension Matrix is the one that's doing the researching, just because Aureil loves to drop them all over the place. Magmadon's coming out. You know what? I actually like this quite a bit, because it's the Kree's job to try and surround a unit if they want to get good surface area and kill it. But the stomps out, the Magmadons are just going to completely negate that. They're going to say, fine, surround me if you want. It's just going to be better DPS for the stomps. And it's not like there's any sabers out on the map. They're going to be doing massive bonus damage to heavily armored units. So I actually really like the Magmadon choice there. These Argents may present a problem. You know what? I wonder what the massive cloak here. And are we going to see the immediate closing in? Oh man. Now the Archangel's getting jumps on the Magmadons. The Magmadons evaporate. A Superstone goes down, but controls down to 100 supply to Aureil's 300. And yeah, I think we might be seeing GG here pretty soon. Aureil's right on top of the production. Yep, and there it is. Aureil's going to go up. Whoa, it doesn't go up that high. Oh, it stops at 4. It stops at 4. No. Well, Aureil takes it. That's his 5th win in this series of 9. GG's, guys. What's up, guys? Here we are in game number 7? Game number 7 or 8? Yeah, we're on game number 8 in this show match of 9 games between Aureil and Control. Aureil's got 5 maps under his belt right now. I would show it on the UI, but as you can see, the numbers only go up to 4. So it's 4-2 at the moment, I believe. And moving on to Jagged Maw, a map that we don't see on the ladder anymore, and rightfully so. I remember after the Tasteless Showdown, the big Celestial versus Celestial tickle fight that happened like right here, I want to say, and it was just Arc ships healing Morph cores that were, you know, trying to water balloon each other down. It was just not Stormgate's finest moment, I grant you, but with a couple of gentlemen's agreements that, hey, there's no Morph core rushes allowed on Jagged Maw, it has seen some, we have seen some really good games coming out of the tournaments here. And for the low price of 2 Fiends, it looks like that Sovereign's Watch is going to get absolutely wasted. Not completely wasted, but it looks like it's only going to help our Infernal player take out this, take out the health camp. Yeah, so now Control can just camp out on the health camp, pop in, do some damage, pop back out. In fact, I think the Gaunts could actually do some pretty good damage to the Creation Chamber and the Power Bank there, but having them sit still is, yeah, probably not the best use for them, seeing as how this Hexen needs to use energy to create more Fiends, and there's creep bounties to be had around the map, so better to just get away from it and keep generating resources, knowing full well that the Celestials players kind of stuck here for the first, I was going to say for the first 3 minutes, right as we cross the 3-minute mark. Oh no, Is this Morph Core going to go down while there's a fight going on down here as well? We are going to see this wall off on this natural. Man, Aureil's just like, this has been a really interesting showcase in like how wall offs can be used in Stormgate. I don't think we've seen that as much, just because the races in Stormgate are so different from StarCraft that you don't necessarily know if you need a wall off or if it'll prevent all that much, or by the time you do get a wall off, will it be all that effective. But it is interesting to see that, like, yeah, this is the only place where a unit could get through into the main, and that'd be a really good spot to hide or to protect tech or production structures. But we'll have to see what gets built as the game progresses. Control doing his best to take basically every single camp on the map. In fact, I'm surprised we don't see Aureil taking doing a Seraphim build here, just to take out the siege camps. Not that the V5 rocket launcher does all that much, because it's so squishy when it's not supported by a larger ground force, which kind of means that you can't do lots of Seraphim plus Archangels plus a big ground force. It's just wanting too much. You're asking for too much there. So, but I still think there's a lot to be said for denying an Infernal player the fruitful wards here. That we can see are really starting to rack up here. I don't know that this army would be as big as it is had it not been for, like, basically all the camps that have already been gotten. The only camps that the Infernal player didn't get is, I mean, he kind of got an assist on this camp from the Sovereign's Watch, but every other camp has been controls. But we haven't seen the either of the siege camps go down yet. Some aggression from the Fiends, taking out a battery, power bank, excuse me. Alright, so Plague Axes are finished up, and these Argents are going to want to get away, even though they are they're sitting inside of the Purification Field. And they're staying very topped up on energy right next to all these power banks as well. The question becomes, though, is like, do they have enough to chase off all these Gaunts and Hexen? And the answer is yes. I think that's this blast node that's especially scary, just because Gaunts are such a small unit that they tend to clump up as they move around, as they reposition. When they're out in a big arc, the blast node, yeah, it's still doing AoE damage, but it's not as effective as if it gets a big clump of them. Oh, an Evolution Catalyst is going to take care of this siege camp, which means that Aureil isn't going to have to spend any health at all to get this V5 rocket launcher, and he uses another charge of Evolution Catalyst to take care of this the other siege camp. What a good way to deny it. I think he basically understands that this one is kind of done for. There's no way that it survives. But you know, the other V5 rocket launcher, he could probably build up a decent sized ground force and then escort it to go do a bunch of damage. Looks like the Weaver yoinked it up onto the high ground, and then all the Gaunts just finished it off, which is to be expected. But yeah, both players are going to sit back and power up a little bit. There's the Archangels. There's the Archangels we know and love from Aureil. Yeah, it looks like Aureil's going to be taking back, or at least invading these all these camps, which is great. I think there should be more. I think there should be more punishment, or I like that there is punishment for people not guarding their camps. Like the Therium camp for control is really valuable. So I totally get that you don't want to put static defense down because it can't follow stuff. It's DPS that isn't with your army that you spent resources on, but this resource is really valuable for an Infernal player. Like I would think you would want to spend the resources to like have some kind of defense there to like even a meat farm just to hold off the changing of hands until your army can show up. Man, these Archangels once again doing great backdoors, getting great splatters. Oh my goodness, that was a lot of imps actually. On top of the auto attacks here, we have 120 damage, flat. There's no bonus in either direction. Woo! That's a spicy stick. The Archangel's spicy stick is not what I'm going to call that weapon. No, I'm vetoing that term actually. A couple of fiends gonna come over and be annoying to an Aureil. Is it gonna be able to do much though? Not really. And then Gaunts versus Argents is always a funny matchup just because neither of them does bonus to each other. These Archangels though, sharking around. They really want the woo! They really wanted those Gaunts to clump back up so they can get a good juicy connection, but the Gaunts run away, knowing full well what will happen if they stick around and clump up. So the Archangels and Argents are going to go back home and get healed up by the Arc Fortress here, which is going to stay really, really charged up. Very forward Ascension Matrix. I know it's like meant to be more of an offensive tool, the charged Ascension Matrix, but using it as like a defensive buff where like, whoa, nice jumps. Here we go. Yep, and now Control's army is going to evaporate. One more pounce. There we go. Takes out the Hexen. Not that the Hexen is doing all that much anymore anyway. Now all the Archangels take off. Vision Camp is captured. And he can just go and win right now. No, Archangels, go win! Go win! Oh, I think they're gonna get they're gonna refill all their energy at the filling station here. The great filling station in the sky. Yeah, they don't need to be completely topped up. They just need enough for like 1 pounce each. Okay, there's the Scorched Earth upgrade getting researched. There's Dragon out on the map, which is an interesting choice, just because the Archangels do so much damage. Even as air units, they do melee damage. So I don't know if the Dragon is worth it, but Infest is really, really good against... Infest would be fantastic against those really high HP units. So if he can get a good Plague, or a Putrid Breath, there's a Plague Breath. Oh, surrounds the Dragon. Whoa! 2 shots from the surrounding Archangels. Oh, man. Yeah, and it's just going to be pounce after pounce. These Archangels are going to make an absolute mess of this expansion here, the third. And the Magmadon's going to do his best to come on forward and get good connections on all these Archangels, but yeah, that's just way too much. Oh, interesting. I've never seen an Archangel get caught mid-jump at the end of a game, but GG's, it's another one for Aureil. Alright guys, here we are at the tail end of the Control versus Aureil show match, best of 9. And I believe Aureil's up 5 or 6 maps. Anyway, he's up by quite a bit, but here we are on Furious Resolve. There's Aureil setting up another wall and a very early Legion Hall to set up his Seraphim. I'm really liking this this new build that Aureil has come up with, where he builds a bunch of air units. It's the Sky Angel build, where he sends Seraphim to snipe camps across the map. Oh no! Yep, it is going to get seen. So I think that lets Control know that he's got to start taking all the camps on his side of the map as quickly as possible, because if he doesn't, Aureil's going to do it for him. Or putting on pressure at home is a smarter idea, just because Seraphim are not meant to fight this kind of an army. And yeah, what do you do now? Like, a power bank got taken out. So is he going to go into, is he going to throw down a Sovereign's Watch back home? I think he could, but he won't want to. Actually, losing that Hex would be huge. He doesn't lose the Hexen though. Oh, and these boots are blocking blocking where the Seraphim can shoot. That's so annoying. always funny watching these low number armies like kind of plink away at each other. Oh man, it's just more and more brutes, more and more fiends out on the map. But Aureil has stabilized in terms of power. He's not lacking for power anymore, which is nice. But it looks like Control is just losing so much trying to get this aggression done. And ultimately, what is he killed off? Just a couple of power banks, I think, right? It's not it hasn't been all that much loss. But now Aureil's got all the Seraphim in the world. He can defend if he needs to. They're fast when he needs them to be. And he can come down and start taking out camps. Or go back and start taking out imps, which would be even scarier. The right call. There we go. There's a dash forward. Imps are going to start getting picked off, but a Superstone goes down. And these Seraphim are not meant to stand and fight. They're definitely the hit and run units. With that speed buff, but again, they're not meant to fight other units. Get the Seraphim out of there. You can, like, there's so much value to be had for, oh, is that Seraphim gonna get caught? Is he gonna get caught? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, dashes out of there. Nicely done. You love to see it. No, but that skull lasts forever. You gotta keep on running. Oh, it does get hit. 9, 7, 5, 3, 2, 1. Oh, no. Wait. What? What? Did I miss something? How did that Seraphim come back from the infestation? Yeah, Delarus, no, I completely agree with you. It canonically is called the bonk stick. That's if I could change the tooltip, I would change it to the bonk stick, but you know. Not a developer. I can barely change scenes correctly. Oh no, losing that Legion Hall is gonna be big. Yeah, that's a bummer. But it should be okay. Yeah, there's enough Seraphim that are just gonna be over here doing damage for free to these brutes, but the brutes being super annoying. Taking out power banks is more annoying than I think a lot of people realize. Just because it's like power banks are not a very sturdy unit. Oh, see Shadow Flyers on the map though, and they do get a good connection on one. Another power bank falls. Aureil's down to red power. Is he gonna have enough DPS to take out these gaunts and fiends? I think the answer is no. Well, we do see reinforcements coming up from the southeast here. But yeah, frontline units, these Seraphim are not. Oh no. Yeah, and like the fiends combined with the gaunts, I don't know what you do here. There's just, I don't know if there's much to be done. Aureil's just down in supply. Doesn't have that many production structures. Just trying to get his power banks back online, but if it were me, I don't understand why putting those power banks so far forward is such a good idea. I get that you want to like kind of wall off this this choke, but it seems a little. Again, like why would you not put that on your creation chamber? I wonder. Is it because it would then get focused down? I don't know. I truly don't know. How's this one getting upgraded? It is in the middle of getting upgraded. That's unfortunate. I think that other link node also won't be able to get up in time. And now these power banks are once again going to get focused down. Yeah, there's no way that link node gets up. Right? Another Seraphim goes down, and I think that's it for Aureil's army units. I don't think he has anything else that does damage. Yeah, he's down to prisms and arrays, and there's the GG from Aureil. Control gets the last map of the series, and that'll be it. Thank you so much for the show match, Aureil. Thank you for the replays, and we'll see you guys later.